feel like I'm being inaugurated or something.
Bart, right here. Can you tell me how much of your defense Peyton recognized in the last game and how difficult it is to confuse him?
You might want to ask Peyton that one. I don't, but I'm sure he was familiar with some things. He pointed out some unfamiliar looks for us and called some guys, some safeties, the will, as they may represent that in our specific scheme, and he recognized it and knew who was coming to certain things. But every time you play Peyton, it's a different ball game. You can't really, confuse him. The guy does tremendous. He's a great student of the game, and it'll be tough sledding. But we got some things that we try to put together, and he'll go back and look at those sheets and make adjustments. It's going to be a game of adjustments.
Bart, right down here. How has Coach been successful in making you guys believe in his system?
I mean, it's proven. His systems worked, for years in Baltimore, and came over, and was no reason not to believe that it could be successful here. I think Tannenbaum did a great job, and Mangini in bringing some tremendous talent here, previous to Coach's arrival. And he knew that the recipe for success was here, and he knew that, in this division, a tough physical football team was, something that really wasn't represented here. This was a league a division that really aired it out, and we wanted to try and be different.
Bart, did you notice last week Damian and Allen bringing their Super Bowl rings, and I know some of the guys were looking at them, and just kind of wonder what your impression was and how much of a motivating.
Thought they were a bunch of show-offs, man. I don't want to see your Super Bowl ring. I don't got one. But no, I think it is something that can motivate guys. I think it was a subliminal message. Just, hey guys, this is what you get at the prize. I've been there. Come get one. It's exciting. You play this game to get one of those, and it's one of those things that you can't buy. You have to earn it. That's what makes it so special. It's an opportunity to etch yourself in stone, in history, be a part of history forever, something that can live far longer than you.
Anybody else?
Nice.
Oh, I can...
A follower?
Go ahead.
Oh, thanks. Just with regard to Mike Pettine, you know how much of a large figure Rex is all across the board, just the way his defense, he was overshadowed everything in Baltimore even with the way your defense played. Can you just talk a little bit about Pettine kind of being, in the shadows, and what are the things that, how much input, and I think people get the impression this is all about Rex. Can you talk a little bit about what he brings to the table, and he's kind of overshadowed?
Pettine's the prized pupil. He started off as a guy who filmed practices, continued to work and learn under the great mentors that he had, being underneath Mike Nolan, and then Rex Ryan, and learning a lot. He got a great education, and make no bones about it. He makes a lot of decisions as well, and he's calling the plays. He's a great schemer. He's one of the guys that used to chart what other teams used to do in the tendencies and things like that. And he knows his defense just as well as Rex. And I think they lean on each other, because you want to have two sets of eyes, that can kind of sit back and really see what the opposing team is doing to be able to make the adjustments. That's why he sits up in the booth, because he gets a different vantage point than Rex, being so far on the front line.
Or you go a ways back with Rex to Baltimore. Everybody that talks about him says fun, almost instinctively first. Why is he fun? What makes him fun?
I mean, because he understands that this is a business, but you can go about your business and have fun and enjoy it as well, because it's a game, and you get that extra oomph out when you have an enthusiasm, you have a passion, and you're enjoying yourself. When you worry about you're tight and things like that, you're out there, you're robotic. You're not out there playing. You're going out there. You're following the script. Sometimes it's going to come a point in the game when you have to be a football player, and it's outside the X's and O's. And what he does a great job in doing is he gives you an opportunity to be a playmaker, understand to be to go out and make plays. He's not going to, he's going to give you the tools and say, I suggest you use these tools in these certain situations, but he's going to allow you to make that decision, and that's the trust that he has in his players. And I think you see guys like Ed Reed, making big plays and big picks, things like that. Where in certain systems, a coach would chastise a player for being out of position or taking a chance. He allows you to use your instincts.
Hey, Bart.
Rex said a few minutes ago, you guys are going to be really loose this week. Do you guys feel a loose team right now? You guys going to be a little tight? What would you say about that?
Well, you can't be in games like this. You can't be afraid to fail. You know, you can't play tight. You know, because if you draw it up and you play it exactly how it's supposed to be played on paper, you know, he'll complete the pass every time. You have to, you know, trust your preparation, trust the scheme, and trust your man next to you. You know, believe that, you know, you can't be afraid to make a play in games like this, you know, but you can't go too far outside the structure as well. It's a fine balance in between that. You know, somebody's going to make a play that determines, you know, the outcome of this game. You know, you never know who that guy is. You know, I always say in situations like this, you need the stars to be stars and somebody to emerge as a star. You know, like I said, you look at the Larry Browns, you look at the Desmond Howards and things like that. We understand it's tough sledding, but we're not afraid to fail. And I think when you're not afraid to fail, it gives you a better chance of succeeding.
Bart, Jim Leonard had mentioned earlier today that he and you were going to follow Rex no matter where he went.
Right.
Could you and Jim talk about that together? I mean, is it something you kind of?
Well, trust me, there was a lot of other guys that when he got this job wanted to leave where we were at before as well. You know, like I said, a lot of the guys, when he didn't get the job the year before in Baltimore, we all felt that it was, you know, our fault in that room because we didn't have a successful season. We all knew that when you have a successful season, you know, guys get jobs, and we didn't perform up to our level, and we made it our business when he didn't get that head coaching job in Baltimore to get him one that year. You know, a lot of guys played for him because he was the one familiar person that we knew, you know, left on that coaching staff, you know, and we really played for him. And guys were ecstatic when he got the job. After losing, you know, the AFC Championship last year, you know, one thing that helped us to get over that was the fact that Rex got what he deserved. You know, it was a long time coming, and you know, I wanted to go play with him because I wanted to play defense the way that it's supposed to be played. You know, I don't want to go anywhere and be a robot. I want to go somewhere and be successful and be aggressive. I didn't want to be a bend don't break type of guy. I wanted to go out and be, you know, part of a successful unit that can maybe, you know, try and rewrite history and something that can, you know, bring a legacy to and a tradition to New York, so that, you know, the team is known. Like when you think about Pittsburgh, you think about Baltimore, you think about Tampa, you think defense. You know, I wanted to see if I can be a part of that and keep the magic going because, you know, a lot of my success I owe to him because he took a chance on me. You know, I came in as undrafted, you know, running out on kickoffs, and he allowed me to dream to one day be a starter, and he prepared me and he coached me. You know, when, you know, a lot of times the guys run out on kickoff don't get coached. You know, when I was in sitting in there in scout team, you know, they prepared me to one day have an opportunity if I did everything right to play.
Hey Bart, this week on the Jets website, you said to be the best, you have to beat the best. Why was it? Could you expand on that and why it's important for you guys why it was important for you guys to play the Colts in the AFC Championship?
Well, you can't just run into a string of luck and hope you can back your way into the Super Bowl. You're going to have to beat teams that you're not supposed to beat, you know, and to do that, you got to embrace it. You can't hope, oh, let me hope that the Ravens win. Let me hope that somebody else knock them off so I won't have to face them. You know, to do that, you sometimes, you know, if it happens, it happens. But you got to be prepared to play the best that's alive. And, you know, that's Peyton. You know, right now, he had to get over the hump as well. He had to get over that New England hump. You know, now we're trying to get over the hump and beat a great opponent with a tremendous tradition. And, you know, it's name recognition, it's recognition. You know, people don't expect us to win because they haven't seen it before. They expect him to win because they've seen it before. But it was a time and a place when they were concerned, could he win the big game? Now those questions, you know, are upon us, and, you know, we have the opportunity to answer those questions.
All right, last question.
Bart, you said keep the magic going. Do you think that there's something more going on here besides hard work and dedication and resilience? Do you think that there's something magical about this football team?
Well, I think this is a magical place, and I definitely believe that that's a special head coach. You know, it's not too many head coaches, if there are any other like him. You know, I think guys play for him, you know, because he takes so much for his players, and he loves his players, and he's on the front line with his players. Like I said, he's not one of those coaches that's dictators that sits up in the booth or sits back and the coordinators run the show. He's on the front line. When you're stretching, he's there. When you see him in the hallway, he's there.